Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. I'm your host, Gregory Barrett, and with me is my lovely wife, Christine.
Hello.
Okay. So, if anyone is actually watching this, thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll help out our channel. So, how's today going to work? So, we got lots of news and we got a whole bunch of things to review.
Okay.
What would you like to start with first? Would you like to just jump into some reviews, or would you like to start with some of the news?
You go start with the news. I think that would be good.
Okay. Some of the news is dependent on the reviews, so we might want. So some of the big things we're going to talk about today is we're both going to talk about Black Adam.
Okay. Yes.
We're going to talk about the season finale for House of the Dragon. We're also going to talk about the newest episode 8 of Andor on Disney Plus. And oh yeah, we're also going to talk about Bros, which we saw last weekend, but we forgot to talk about. What stuff do you have to review for yourself this week?
I've been watching a few things, but I think I'll look at Avenue 5, which I love, and I'll continue on with The Resort, because it keeps on going.
Okay, fair enough. Things I have to review is some of the Batman the Animated Series, the new Netflix original movie, All Quiet on the Western Front, which is the remake of the 1930 classic. And what else have I watched this week? Not sure. If anything comes to me, then I'll mention it. So let's start off with the news then. I got a whole bunch of news for us. So, let's see. So the opening weekend for Black Adam was 67 million.
Is that good?
Yeah, pretty good. So the expectations, I think it was like 30 to 60 million.
There's no competition yet.
Yeah, so it opened last weekend, even though you just saw it yesterday.
Yes. You saw it opening night, Thursday.
Yeah, preview night I saw it. So the high end of the expectations for the opening weekend was up to 60 million, and so it got 67 million. So It exceeded expectations, but it's not a huge blockbuster.
No.
It's still Dwayne Johnson's highest opening weekend ever, though, for any of his movies.
Really?
Yeah.
His movies are so good. Anyway, that's surprising.
His movies are really kind of
Treasure
average.
Island was really fun. That was the most recent one that I saw.
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise, yes. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
A really fun movie.
Yeah, it was fun, but it didn't make anything.
Well, maybe they don't promote them properly. Anyway.
Just during the pandemic.
It was good. Well, this is still the movies are sort of suffering. When we were at the movies, there was hardly anybody there. Both times we went the past couple of weeks, normally on a weekend, it's getting colder out, there'd be lots of people there, but there weren't.
It's not because of the pandemic, though. Those restrictions are all gone pretty much everywhere.
No, but I think there's a lag because they didn't make as many movies.
There's not as many movies being made, but also there's a big delay in movies because of visual effects that's going on in the industry. And so all these movies, including Black Adam, have been delayed.
Yes.
Because of visual effects. And there's a lot of problems in that industry.
But
until they actually fix those problems, because they're working people to death for not enough money.
Visual things.
It's all CGI effects. So all visual effects, all that stuff takes time and money.
Right.
And so all those things are getting delayed because they can't get people. Because the working conditions are terrible.
Yeah. A lot of those computer guys, they just lock them all in a room with no ventilation and
well, I mean, if your job is doing visual effects on the computer...
Maybe they get to do it at home now.
If my job was to, whether it be just, graphic design or doing visual effects and animation, if that was my job and they're forcing me to work, 10, 20 hours a day, 7 days a week... That's not very good living, right?
No.
So people are just refusing to do that, or they're just leaving that industry entirely because the problem is that these companies, they all bid for contracts, right? So they want to work on Marvel movies, they want to work on DC movies, they want to work on Star Wars movies. They bid to see who can get the contract, right? And the problem is they keep bidding lower and lower to get the contract to outbid each other.
Cheap.
Yeah. And which is not the studio's fault. Because they want the lowest bid.
No, but that's always the way. You get into crazy situations. Well, anyway, there's not many movies out there. But is it next week? The other movie's coming, Wakanda?
Wakanda Forever is coming out it comes out on November 11th.
Right,
So that's not this coming week, so
Black
opens in 2
Adam will
weeks.
have a couple of weeks to get its monies out, and then once the other one starts, so that'll be probably the front runner.
Yeah, it'll have 3 weeks. So let's talk about Black Adam now, because at the end, we can talk about it now. So in terms of spoiler fashion, so spoilers for Black Adam if you haven't seen it, what everyone knows and what Dwayne Johnson was telling everyone, and also Warner Bros. Started putting in the marketing, is that Henry Cavill's at the end of it. He's returned as Superman.
I think that's not the point of the movie, though. He's there for like 30 seconds at the most.
At the end. That's the spoiler you didn't want me to ruin for you last week.
No, well.
So
I'm not that excited about Henry Cavill. I think he's kind of... I didn't really care for him in the role before. Mm-hmm. He's just like sighing a lot and kind of like no energy. I didn't care for him. He doesn't have the charm and the charisma of like say Christopher Reeves. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion.
Fans are really excited to have him back. So the hardcore DC fans and movie fans, they're really excited about it.
He physically looks the part, but I feel he doesn't have that energy.
Yeah.
Personally.
So maybe they'll change that. They'll change the writing and how they wrote the character.
Maybe,
Instead of having sad, depressed Superman, we'll get like positive, uplifting Superman.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
More like we got at the end of or in parts of Justice League, which wasn't a good movie.
No.
Did you see Justice League?
I don't even remember a lot. I just block a lot of that out, really.
So
I'm done with Justice.
So. Speaking to that, yesterday I took you to see an IMAX screening of Black Adam.
Yes.
Which was your first time seeing it.
Thank you. It was nice in IMAX.
And it was my second viewing. Would you like to do your review, or would you like me to start on it?
Well, my review, I liked the premise of it, but it had this silly Justice Society in it, and I think the movie shouldn't have had them in it at all. I think they ruined the movie. I think that was just silly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My idea would be that basically this mineral that they don't really go into, the mineral, but it's the reason for the whole movie, and they don't even get into it. Basically, belongs to some aliens, and it landed there in this country where they all live. Kondonk. And basically, it should be the aliens coming looking for it, and then he has to fight them. Instead of this silly Justice Society fighting a guy that's supposed to be a good guy, and they're just lame because they're not a team. They're just thrown in together. Mm-hmm. It's like someone picked some resumes out of a box and said, "Oh, this 4 people. Go and save the world."
Okay.
It was silly.
So you didn't like it?
I didn't like that part of it. Mm-hmm. Excise them out from the movie, and then it would have been much better.
Did you have fun with the movie overall?
I did, but I hate this, just this kind of like perfect superhero type of thing with no personality and having all these giant mansions and ships, and it's just silly. Mm-hmm. They ruined it. This country it was more of a gritty thing, and the people that were living in the country, they should have had more about them, and the relationship between the mother and the son. If not, we've just got these super beings again that are not real people.
Okay.
Black Adam I found was much more likable, but there was a big problem with his language. He spoke like a North American, and he's supposed to be a prehistoric type person from Kondonk, who had a different language.
He picked up English pretty fast, huh?
He did.
Maybe that's the magic.
I would have written it much better. I would have written it in a much better way. I didn't care for a lot of it, but I liked his character. I liked the story of his character. I liked the story. I think they should have went more into that woman and her past. With the mineral, it was all about the mineral, but we hardly heard about it. And it just had a whole bunch of weird ships flying around and people beating each other up.
When you say the woman, you mean the mother who was a university professor who found the crown.
We never really saw her doing any of that.
She said she was, and she quit so she could go on this quest.
Her and her family instead of this BS Justice Society. That's my opinion.
Her family, the son is terrible. He's the worst part of the movie for me. But the brother, the electrician, this guy's amazing. Okay? To go see the movie just to see this guy, right?
The son is supposed to be like the original. The original character that was the hero. That's who the son is supposed to be. I don't know if you got that part of it. That's who he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be like the hero. That's what he's
Yeah,
supposed to be.
that kid was the worst part of the movie. It was so cringy and... Oh man,
I
every time
enjoy
that
that.
kid spoke,
You
I was
just
like,
don't
oh,
like kids."
shut up, this character is terrible. No, I'm not the only one who thinks that.
Well, I think that Justice Society was terrible and lame, and they don't even know each other, and it was just weird and, like, silly. I just thought it was silly.
So the brother is played by Muhammad Amir, who plays Kareem, the
Yeah,
electrician brother.
He was funny.
This guy's
But it's
hilarious.
like
I hope he shows up in more DC movies and he's just playing his song all the time. Baby, come back.
I just find
From
they kind
Player
of
in the 70s?
sidelined that story and the whole story of it with these superhero folks who didn't belong there. It was silly.
Okay.
That's my thing.
So overall, you liked it or you didn't like it? You sound pretty negative on it.
I'd like to rewrite it.
You didn't answer my question.
No.
Best movie ever, worst movie ever. That's the internet rating system.
I don't agree with that. It was okay. It needed editing. That's my review.
It definitely has a lot of problems. I had way more fun watching this on my second viewing. So, I guess it was because I was prepared for the bad stuff, because there's bad writing, there's bad exposition, especially the first 5 minutes, and there's a lot of bad dialogue, and that kid is terrible. But I already had those disappointments, so by going in, I was like, I'm just gonna, like, you know, kind of nod off at those times or not pay so much attention, and then I'm just gonna have a good time. So, Black Adam, it was fine. Yeah, it's weird. I found myself a couple of times throughout the movie, I'm like, why are they speaking English? Why is he speaking English now when he was just speaking ancient Sumerian or something?
Yes, they should have been speaking their own language, not being all Americanized. And your favorite character was my least favorite character.
But this movie is for kids, so they're not going to do a whole bunch of subtitles.
Well, they needed to address it. They could have addressed it in a different way, meaning that he was listening all the time
I agree.
when he was buried in the tomb. Something to that effect.
I agree. I just think you're overthinking it.
It didn't go into a lot of things that it should have, and instead it had this just so many people chasing each other and fighting each other.
Let me finish my review.
Yeah,
you did your review.
It just irritates me.
So the Justice Society was great. The worst Justice Society character for me was Cyclone, because she didn't really do all that much. Just kind of spun around and, a lot of CGI weird effects. Atom Smasher was funny. Okay, he was the new guy, the rookie on the team, and he kept getting in trouble. Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate was ridiculous, but he's got that great accent. You just go along with whatever's doing, and he's dressed up like this suave, rich Irishman. Looks like he could be an older James Bond. Okay? In fact, people want him to come back to play an old James Bond, and he would do it too. He's the only James Bond who left who wanted to do more. Right. All the others hated it.
He's great at James Bond.
Okay? All the others left, and they didn't want anything to do with it, but he's the only one that they fired. They're like, we're going in a different direction. So, anyway, him as Dr. Fate, which is just kind of a copy of Doctor Strange in the MCU. Fair enough. I mean, superhero universes are pretty similar. But Hawkman was the best. He was so angry and pissed off all the time. It was great.
To be
ridiculous. And he kept coming and, like, even though he's completely outclassed, he just kept going.
He's too cool
and he
for
was
school.
Always pissed off at Atom Smasher.
He was like,
pissed
there's
off
a
at
bad
everyone.
guy gonna kill the world. I'll just handle that just like that. Like, there's nothing there from this character. And the team was not a team. They all just met and got on the ship and went to fight him.
Yeah.
They don't even know each other.
The indestructible plane that gets blown up at the end, that gets destroyed at the end.
And they don't even know each other?
They mention it at the beginning. No, they just met the new guy.
They're all new to each other. What? Do they not practice? If they're going to save the world, I think they should at least know each other.
You're breaking too much and you keep interrupting my review.
This makes me mad.
So, Hawkman was great. He's hilarious. He's always pissed off at everyone. I even picked up more jokes on this viewing. When the Justice Society go there, they go to take out Black Adam, so they're fighting him for a while, and then they stop, because it's the classic superhero team-up. They punch for a bit, and then they're mates. So then they go to talk to him, but while they were fighting on the street, I noticed on one of the streets there was a store, and it said KFC. and underneath it said Condom Fried Chicken. So it's not the actual KFC. And then when they go to talk to him, Adam Smasher's holding up, he's eating a bucket of chicken, of fried chicken. So it was so they all stopped fighting. Adam Smasher must have ran in there and be like, hey guys, I don't speak your language, but give me a bucket, here's a US dollar, right?
He was hungry when he got on the ship in the first place.
Yeah, the guy's always asking for food. He's got a backpack, why doesn't he pack like a whole bag full of protein bars and granola bars if he's hungry all the time?
They didn't have time. They were just saying, get on the ship and go fight this giant, powerful super person.
So I definitely had more fun with it, and I give it a best movie ever. So go check it out in the theaters, biggest screen possible, okay? It is currently rated, I got this up on Rotten Tomatoes right now, it currently has a 40% critic rating, so it's rotten, but audience score of 90%. So people are having fun with it despite all the problems the movie has.
Well, you really like Black Adam.
And people are going back for multiple viewings.
His character and the story of his character is the good thing about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
All the rest of it is
it's bad.
Needs help.
That's what I told you when I told you to go see a movie. I'm like, it's really bad, but you should go see it because you'll have fun with it. And you love complaining about movies.
I know.
So,
I've rewritten it. I rewrote it this morning in my head.
So this leads into a question of Marvel and DC. They're always being compared, of course.
Yes.
So the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, has been going since 2008. Launched with your favorite one, Iron Man, and then the Incredible Hulk, like the next month.
I like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I like that one too, even though it's what's his name there, Edward Norton. I thought he was a good.
I like that movie. I thought that was good. That was like
the movie has a different tone.
Superheroes at this time,
so,
really.
The question has come up with that. So the MCU started in 2008. The DC Extended Universe, the DCEU, started in 2013 with Man of Steel.
Much later.
Yeah. And DC has always been lagging behind, and Marvel's been having, like, phenomenal success. Unprecedented success. They keep having billion-dollar movies. Even the ones that don't make that much money, they still make millions and millions of dollars.
Is it because do they have way more comic book stories than DC?
No, DC's way older.
No, but
DC's characters are from the 30s.
I don't mean older. I mean, are there more, like, the DC stories are just like we've got Batman, I'm hearing the Green Lantern, which no one seemed to like. Like, they have some, like, the other ones have more characters, I guess?
No, they both got tons of characters.
Oh.
DC tends to have, like, the bigger name characters. It's got Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Those are, like, the three biggest superheroes of all time, right?
I guess.
Okay, when you think of a female superhero, who's the first female superhero you think of?
Wonder Woman.
There you go. They got Wonder Woman, right?
Right.
Okay, who's the granddaddy of all superheroes?
Batman.
Superman. Okay? Superman is the most recognizable superhero in the world.
In the 80s, when I was a kid, yes, we would have said Superman. Now there hasn't been as much Superman out there.
Who's one of the most popular superheroes, if not the most popular superhero in the world? Batman. Okay? Yes. Now, in terms of merchandise, though, the superhero that makes the most money is Spider-Man.
Woo-hoo.
Because kids love Spider-Man. Okay? And it's not even close. Like, if you think Batman sells a lot of merch, it's like Batman sells tons, and then Spider-Man is way more.
Kids like bugs. They like Spider-Man. He is a kid, so.
So the question has come up lately, even though the MCU has had more success overall, is DC having more hits lately? Because it's always, what have you done for me lately? And a lot of the MCU projects have been disappointments to people.
Yes.
Okay? So, looking back since 2001, we've had...
Oh my gosh. That's a long time.
Sorry, not 2001. I apologize. 2021.
Oh,
so
okay.
just in the last 2 years, we've had a lot. There's been a lot of Marvel stuff come out. In fact, some people say way too many things. So in January 2021, we had WandaVision.
I really liked WandaVision.
Then
it was very different.
Yeah, and people say that's their best Disney Plus series.
It was very unique.
Then in March, 2 months later, in March 2021, we had Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay. Yeah.
I enjoyed that one.
It was all right.
Some people didn't like it. Some people like it a lot. I thought it was really good.
It was okay. Not as good as the movies.
Anyway, we're not reviewing these right now. Then in June, we got season 1 of Loki.
I liked Loki.
Then in August, we got season 1 of What If.
I didn't care for that as much.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't. November 2021, we had Hawkeye.
And I didn't care for Hawkeye.
In March of this year, 2022, we had Moon Knight.
I liked Moon Knight a lot.
June of this year, we had Ms. Marvel.
I liked it. It was fun.
And August of this year, we've had She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in that time, we also had in July of 2021, we had Black Widow, which came out at the theaters as well as on Disney Plus if you paid for it.
Okay.
The same date. Then so that one was it was okay. I enjoy it, but it's not your favorite, and it's not a lot of people's favorite. Then in September 2021, we had Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, people really like that one. I like it too. I got my 4K copy of that. Then November 2021, we had The Eternals.
Again, we're going to argue about The Eternals again. I think it's going to happen every show.
I enjoy it.
Suck.
I enjoy it. Christine didn't like it. A lot of people didn't like it. And then next month, in December 2021, we had the hugely successful Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
that was a fun movie.
People really liked that one.
People enjoyed it. People came to the theater. There was lots of people. It was surprising because COVID was keeping things.
Just out of those 4, that's 2 you liked, and 1 that was okay, and 1 you didn't like.
Yeah.
Eternals. Okay. Then this year we got Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
That was fun.
I enjoyed it.
It was interesting.
Didn't blow me away, but I enjoyed it. Then in July we had Thor: Love and Thunder.
That was really fun.
That was fun. A lot of people didn't like how wacky it was, but I really enjoyed it.
That's what it was kind of about.
And then
those movies are very wacky.
And then in 2 months we got Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
So some hit and miss. Yeah. So some hit and misses there with the films and with the series, right?
Yeah.
So, but way more volume, and at the same time, okay.
When did the Suicide Squad come out? You didn't mention that one. Was that before
This is Marvel we're going through,
this is
okay?
Marvel,
so then on opposite that, we've had a lot of stuff there. Then opposite that with DCEU, we had, in 2021, they only had 1 film.
Yes.
And that was James Gunn's The Suicide Squad.
Which was awesome.
Which was awesome, definitely. If you haven't seen James Gunn's The Suicide Squad from 2021, which a lot of people didn't because it flopped at the box office, it did just terrible.
Really fun. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's very similar
to that. It was an amazing film.
Very fun.
James Gunn did his job, was to make the best movie possible, and he did. No one went to go see it because of pandemic issues, problems with the brand, because the previous Suicide Squad movie...
I never even saw that one. You told me not to watch it.
We'll watch it sometime.
Okay.
But,
you said it was painful or something
It was disappointing at the time, and I didn't watch it since. Anyway, this one's great. It's not for kids. The jokes in it are hilarious. There's a lot of...
That weasel guy's hilarious.
The jokes are amazing. Okay? You laugh throughout it. The violence is pretty visceral.
It is.
So it's not for kids.
No.
There's some nudity and sexuality in it.
It's funny.
Okay? It is hilarious, though. Even if you're a little squeamish around blood in that, go check out James Gunn's The Suicide Squad from 2021.
It's really fun.
It's
great. Enjoyed it.
I got my 4K copy.
Overall, well written and a great little, it's very, it's a good
So they had that,
project.
And then that led into James Gunn ended up having the biggest TV show in the world at one time, which was the Peacemaker series.
I never saw that one.
Okay? You should watch that then. I did. It was really funny. It had some funny stuff in it. There's a reason why it was the biggest show in the world at the time, right? It was great. It was just way better than everything else that was on. People had a really fun time with it.
Okay.
So, they had a great movie that flopped. Then they had a great TV series that did really well. So, James, that's going to lead into our next news story.
Everyone was at home watching TV, not going out to the movies, probably.
And then this year, we had in March... I think it was March. We had Matt Reeves' The Batman. Which you didn't like that? No. But a lot of people really liked it. I enjoy it. I got my 4K copy. And it had a lot of good success.
It did, but the casting was totally wrong for the movie. It had a 30-year-old man acting like he was 13.
Yeah.
Okay?
If you haven't seen Matt Reeves' The Batman from this year, This is the most emo Batman we've ever had.
If he
He's
would have
so
been a younger
emo.
guy, it would have made sense. But the casting, it did not make sense. I'm sorry, but it was silly. And it really ruined the movie for me. The casting was completely wrong.
Okay. So you didn't like that one. I had a good time with it. And then now we got Black Adam, which you said it was okay.
I liked it.
And I had a lot of fun, even though it's really bad. It's one of those movies that it's really bad, but you have a good time watching it.
I feel like they just inserted characters that had no business being in the movie.
So it's up to you. What do you think? Is DC having better luck right now, or is Marvel having better luck right now?
Oh, I'd say Marvel is the champion of it all. Because
Still?
overall, they've had many successful movies.
We're not talking overall. We're just talking what have you done for us lately.
No, I think that Marvel is still the champion. I think that Batman movie wasn't very good. The Spider-Man one was.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have Black Adam, which was fun. Yeah, Shazam before that was really fun.
Yeah. We're getting Shazam
that.
too.
That'll be fun.
It's delayed once again because of visual effects.
Right.
Everything's delayed because of that. So that actually goes into another news story that we have. So James Gunn, who had such phenomenal success with he didn't have success with The Suicide Squad, even though it's a great film, but he had a lot of success with Peacemaker. So James Gunn and producer Peter Safran have been hired to co-lead the new Warner Brothers studio, their DC studio. So let me just explain to you. So all this time, DC Entertainment has been under Warner Brothers Pictures.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so right now there's 3 different divisions. There's Warner Brothers Pictures. Okay, now they're going to have a new DC Studios.
Oh,
and then
separate.
there's another one. It might be the animation one. I'm not sure. So anyway, so they have 3 different studios. So compare that to over at Disney. They got Disney Pictures. They got Pixar movies. That's their own studio. Okay. They got Marvel Studios. They have their own studio, and Kevin Feige's the head of it.
Right.
Okay. But they answer to the new CEO, to Bob Chapek and his underlings that he put above them.
Okay.
The new structure. And also they got Lucasfilm.
Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, so Lucasfilm, which also includes Indiana Jones, because we're getting Indiana Jones 5 soon.
Oh.
Yeah, and apparently it's really good. It's being directed by...
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, they're already showing footage of it.
Okay.
The director is James Mangold, and he's made some really good films.
Okay, that sounds promising.
He made The Wolverine.
I love The Wolverine.
Logan.
As you know, The Wolverine is my favorite
Ford
one.
v Ferrari. This guy knows how to make good films.
See Ford v
Yeah, it's a dad car film.
Cars.
I'm not into it, but this guy knows how to make good movies.
But I love The Wolverine way better than the Logan movie.
Okay.
That one's my favorite.
Okay, so now Warner Brothers, DC Studios is now its own studio, which before they were just under Warner Brothers.
Yeah, they've always been under Warner Brothers. You think of Batman, you think of Warner Brothers.
Well, they're still owned by Warner Brothers.
Right.
But now they have their own studio, and the head of the studio is James Gunn.
Okay.
And producer Peter Safran.
Okay.
He has worked. With him. He's been a producer on a lot of films. I believe one of his biggest things is he was the producer on the Conjuring series.
Okay.
Just for Warner Brothers.
I did not see that, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, people really enjoy those.
It's popular.
Is it Warner Brothers?
I don't know.
Don't quote me on that. But the Conjuring series, he's the producer on that. People really like that.
We should watch that one then. We should put that on our list.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it also has a lot of spin-off. They had that Curse of La Llorona, the Annabelle movies as part of the Conjuring series.
Geez. Maybe I'm too scared for that.
I saw 2 of those. I saw the second one and the third one. The third one was a joke, or it wasn't for me, sorry. And the second one, Annabelle Creation, that one was really scary.
You know how many dolls are in this house right now? Our daughter has lots of dolls. I don't know if I'll watch one of those.
So anyway, so these are the 2 guys that are being put in charge of this new studio.
Yes.
So we know that he's a good producer. He's had a lot of success, and James Gunn has had a lot of success as a director and a producer. Okay. So putting them to head the DC studios, hopefully that just means we get a lot better movies, right? Okay. And not like sad, mopey Superman and angry, kill everyone Batman.
Remember one scene he's in like a bathtub and he's just like... That's what comes to mind when I think of that movie. That was bad. Yeah. Well, let's hope he's a more uplifting character in this next Superman.
I think they are.
movie.
They were already starting to change that in Joss Whedon's Justice League.
Okay.
But then I think he was sad, mopey Batman again. Zack Snyder's Justice League, which...
Sad and mopey is to go.
I feel I'm still watching that movie. That movie was so long.
Is that the Batman versus?
No, that's the Justice League.
Oh.
They did a re-release of it. It's a long story, but you probably didn't see it because it was only released on HBO Max.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
And it's
know
long.
Batman
and
versus
goes on forever.
Superman was.
Yeah, that wasn't that great.
No.
And then people like Justice League even less. But there was some fun moments in it.
Okay.
We'll watch it sometime.
You know the thing, they're spending like so much money on these movies, and they need a real good editor, and they don't seem to have a good editor.
I think it's a matter
I
of
think
editing.
that's the problem. The story has to be tight. That's what they're missing in some of these shows.
So do you think that James Gunn and Peter Safran will be good for DC Studios? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, Suicide Squad was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. We'll see how it goes. As long as people don't interfere and start like inserting things into it, that's when it goes downhill.
Let's move on to Marvel stuff now. So there's a new Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania trailer.
Right.
We saw that this week. Any thoughts on it?
Well, I like the first Ant-Man was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was okay, but
Second
it's
was
sort of like
blah.
yeah. I
Didn't
don't
work
know.
for me
They
that
need
well.
to do more with that character.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. This one, the trailer looks good. They're playing Elton John. Check it out on YouTube. Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania.
It needs to be like really funny or do a lot of things.
Some people are disappointed because they want to see like teases of the Fantastic Four. They think Fantastic Four is going to make an appearance there.
Okay.
So, because they're going into the quantum realm. So this isn't like they're just doing randoms. They're not, like the first movie was a heist, and then the second one was a different kind of heist, but now they're going into like this weird quantum realm.
Yeah, they're going into the realm.
So it's a science fiction movie.
A kid or something in the movie.
Yeah, that's his kid. Well, there's his daughter, Cassie Lang.
Yeah, I guess she's the
because she's grown up because he missed 5 years.
Right.
Because he was, stuck in the quantum realm for 5 years until that rat got him out.
That's terrible. Yeah.
But it was only like 5 hours for him, he said.
Right.
So that's not so bad.
No.
Okay.
Well, let's hope no one gets stuck in the quantum
there was
realm
also
this time around.
There was also a new trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which we watched that yesterday.
Yes, I don't know if this is a necessary thing to do or not. I hope it just doesn't, I hope it's good. I
hope it's good, too.
I think they should not mess with Guardians of the Galaxy, because so far it's been going very good.
Well, this is from James Gunn.
I know, but...
He's coming out with Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah,
okay?
I hope it's good.
And then he's going to be promoting this, so he is now the co-head of DC Studios over at Warner Brothers, but he has to go out... He has to finish this movie and go out and promote it, okay? Which Warner Bros. Is going to be really happy for them to do that, because he'll be like, hey, I'm promoting this movie, and if it's really good, if it's $1 billion movie, Warner Bros. Gets to say, yeah, he's with us now. So he's going to be making movies over here.
Christmas specials can be lame.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's the problem. Maybe they should just do a Christmas song, and then they'll make money forever on
but
that. All Christmas songs are very popular, no matter even if they suck. They
it's introducing Kevin Bacon, though.
Right.
I thought that introducing,
Is he going to dance?
I don't know. They're probably going to end the special with a dance-off between Star-Lord and Kevin Bacon, because he never stopped. It's going to be Footloose style. Yes. Hopefully not too much Kenny Loggins, because I'm not a big Kenny Loggins fan, but if that's your thing, go right ahead.
Anyway, we'll have to see. It could be very lame, but...
Check out the new trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, and they actually got Kevin Bacon in it. Playing Kevin Bacon.
He's in the trailer anyway.
Yeah, he's in it. Other news for Marvel, Agatha, Coven of Chaos.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. I might have had a picture of it somewhere. It starts filming in December 5th.
Is this a movie or a television series?
It's a Disney Plus series.
Okay.
In fact, it might even be just a special. I'm not even sure if it's... I think it's a series, though.
Okay.
Might be just a limited series, but not an ongoing series. We don't know yet.
Okay.
Green Lantern they were developing a Green Lantern Corps. First they said Green Lantern was going to be a movie in the DCEU. Then they said it was going to, nope, we're going to make Green Lantern Corps as a HBO series.
Okay.
And
Corps.
now they're like...
What is Corps?
The Corps, like the Green Lantern Corps, like a military corps.
Oh.
Well, okay? Like the corps.
Yes, I get you.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this HBO series they were developing, they scrapped it, and now they're redeveloping it.
Well, they seem to do poorly with Green Lantern
Yeah.
overall.
So people who are big Green Lantern fans are quite disappointed.
Yeah, I imagine.
Anyway,
they probably have been for quite
this
some
has
time.
been in development since 2019, and now they're like starting from the drawing board again.
Oh.
So maybe it's going to be a movie, maybe it's going to be an HBO series.
It's going to be a while anyway.
We'll see. Oh, and you're going to like this one. James Cameron. Okay?
Oh, yes.
Canadian James Cameron.
We agree on Wonder Woman.
Yeah, well, he's been in the news again.
Okay.
Talking trash.
Well, he has the credentials. If anybody can talk, he's allowed to.
You know what? I didn't even know.
I agree with him on Wonder Woman.
I didn't even know before he was Canadian. I'm like, this guy's always a...
You don't know who's Canadian. You're too much in the American news. You never watch the Canadian news. That's why.
James Cameron
Yes.
was doing interviews because Avatar 2 is coming out.
Sometime.
In December.
You could say that every year for the past, 6 years.
It's coming out in December for Christmas.
Okay, it is, really.
It really is,
Okay.
yeah. They've already been showing scenes of it with when they re-released Avatar last month.
I think I saw scenes of it, though, a couple of years ago.
No, we saw a teaser.
Trailer, yeah,
we saw a teaser for it. I think it came out in the summer.
Ago. It seemed like even before that.
I think it was in
Long
August.
time.
And so now he's out doing press tours.
Right.
And every time they put him on a press tour, he just always puts his foot in his mouth. He just says the stupidest
I
things.
tell you, he can say whatever he wants. He's got the resume.
He's kind of a dick,
Well,
though. Would you like to hear what he said now?
Okay, let's hear what he says.
So, he was talking about his movie, and then he just starts trashing comic book movies. Because no one asked him about them. He just decides to. So here's his quote. In the first movie, he's talking about Avatar, Sam's character leaps off his flying creature and essentially changes the course of history as a result of this crazy, almost suicidal leap of faith. I think that's when he jumped on the big Nocturok, the big red flying griffin, and took over it. Anyway, and Zoe's character leaps off a limb and assumes there's going to be nice big leaves down there that cushion her fall.
Right.
Yeah.
It is all trees.
But when
and
you're a
leaves.
parent, you don't think that way. So for me, as a parent of 5 kids, I'm saying, what happens when those characters mature and realize that they have a responsibility outside their own survival? When I look at these big spectacular films, I'm looking at you, Marvel and DC. Why would he say this? It doesn't matter how old the characters are. They all act like they're in college. They have relationships, but they really don't. They never hang up their spurs because of their kids. The things that really ground us and give us power, love, and a purpose, ? Those characters don't experience it, and I think that's not the way to make movies.
He never saw Hawkeye in
And
the movie
that's,
then. Hawkeye's the only one that would follow what he's saying. He's never seen Hawkeye in a film.
So James Cameron is
But
talking
it is
trash
true,
as
though,
usual.
because these characters are very one-sided. And that's a problem. I find that I agree with him again about the characters. They don't have they don't have enough personalities or behind them. They're just very one-sided. And that gets tired.
You find the characters one-dimensional.
Yes!
Okay.
Maybe in the comic books they're fleshed out, but it's just silly. They're all like, oh, I'm a superhero. And they don't have anything else to them. The only one that has a family is Hawkeye. That I think of.
None of the characters you feel that they're fleshed out characters with motivations.
A lot of them are not. And it's tiring.
Deadpool?
Deadpool does not have a family.
No. He has motivation. He has his family. That whole last movie was about family.
Well, Deadpool is unique, but he also...
Spider-Man? You find Spider-Man one-dimensional?
He is not what he's talking about. Adult. He's talking about adult characters. Adult characters in the Marvel series. For example, this series we just watched.
She-Hulk?
No, they're with the Black Adam. like that character,
movie, okay.
Hawkman. Like, that's just a silly, like, the character had nothing. All those characters, they didn't mesh together.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have, they're just not very realistic. And that's why I don't care for that. It's like, or those Eternal creatures. Those characters in Eternal, they're very wooden.
Well, there's a reason in the movie why I think they're kind of wooden, because, they're...
It gets
tiring. I don't want to spoil it.
It gets tiring. You want to see, now, like, in some, like, I think Captain America has a lot of stuff going on there. But yes, they don't have children. None of them have children. The only one that has children is Hawkeye.
He has a family and kids.
He's the only one, and he always is worried about his family.
Who else has children?
I don't think there's anybody else that I can think of.
Batman certainly doesn't have a family.
Well, they might have children. They might not know who they are.
Hey, Henry Cavill, Man of Steel, he's got Amy Adams as Lois Lane at home. He's got to take care of her.
They don't have any children.
No, they don't have kids.
No, it's a problem because it's not... And, like, Iron Man, for example, and, like, there's no children there. It's just silly. They need to give these people more dimension.
By giving them kids.
Well, this is a normal thing. They don't all have to have kids. I mean, some of them are too grumpy and no one would have kids with them.
I think Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne could get whatever woman he wants. Okay,
and
even though he's so emo,
they can't have kids because they wouldn't, or they come out with like 5 eyes. But it is a problem. I understand what he's saying. The characters are very.
But you didn't like the Hawkeye series because the whole time in the Hawkeye series, he just wants to get home to his family and his kids and his wife.
Well, yes, but...
And he's like, no, I got to deal with this. He's got to deal with the tracksuit mafia, which was great. I mean, bro, it was great. The tracksuit mafia.
Get the series is because I didn't understand, because they were talking about a character, and I thought they were talking about a different character.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they were talking about that guy from Guardians of the Galaxy that was taking blood from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But it's another character with the same name that they were talking about. And that's why I was so confused.
Okay.
I was very confused over that Hawkeye series in general.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Because I didn't see a movie. I missed one movie, and that's why that series didn't make any sense to me.
We'll go back and watch it sometime.
And I couldn't figure it out.
We have since then watched Infinity War and Endgame. So
right. That also becomes a problem with these Marvel movies, having to have watched all the previous ones, and people might not watch them, they might not get it. So they have to be really well written, like a solid...
Yeah, so that anyone can jump in at any time.
Yes.
And most of the movies, okay, lately it's gotten a little bit more convoluted.
Yes.
Now, it doesn't bother me, but I can see how that would bother people who don't know this material. Anyway, most of the movies in the MCU, you can just jump right in. You don't have to have seen them before. So even Shang-Chi, okay?
That's fine.
You can just jump right in and watch Shang-Chi. There's some stuff...
It was Ronan. That was the character. And Ronan was this crazy character in Guardians of the Galaxy that was killing everybody.
Yes.
So I couldn't understand what on earth this Hawkeye was about. You were like, that's Ronan. I'm like, what? He's like an alien guy. It didn't make any sense. They had the same name on the character.
His alter ego, Ronan. Okay,
exactly.
I thought you were talking about Ronan the Accuser from Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's what I thought they were talking about, because I had never heard. There's 2 Ronans, so again, that's bad. But I did not understand what that show was about, because I'm like, Ronan, the crazy guy that was killing everybody.
A lot of these characters, you end up getting multiple versions of them. Okay? Like, you got Hulk. Now you got a derivative character, She-Hulk.
Well, I understand that.
But also, you got Captain America. Okay? Steve Rogers, Captain America. Now it's Sam Wilson, Captain America.
Yes.
And other people have held that mantle. Also, we saw for a brief period, we saw John Walker, Captain America.
Yes, well, the Spider-Mans, there's 7 billion of them, as you've explained that to me.
Well, mostly we've seen Peter Parker Spider-Man, but now we've seen Miles Morales Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen in... Spider-Verse, and Spider-Ham, Spider-Man Noir.
Octo-Spider, or what is he called? Octoman becomes a Spider-Man?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Octavius.
Doc Ock?
Yeah.
He does become Spider-Man at one point. He becomes the Superior Spider-Man.
Oh, the Superior. Okay. Yeah, I know.
We haven't seen that in a film. That was in a comic
remembered.
storyline. I'm surprised you remember that.
I'm just trying to keep it all straight.
But you just got to, and unfortunately you have to know which characters you're on right now. So
Right.
Steve Rogers, Captain America, he's not around anymore. We got Sam Wilson, Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
But what if that changes and we get Bucky Barnes, Captain America? He's been Captain America too. And people want him to be Captain America.
Well, then who's going to be the Winter Soldier?
No one. They don't need a Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't even have the cool arm anymore. I mean, I know he's got that vibranium arm now.
Be the Winter Soldier. We live in a place that's very cold. There you go.
That's not what that term means.
When you're out there with your snowblower, you could be the Winter Soldier.
Okay. Am I going to get a cool metal arm?
For your shovel, yeah.
That would be awesome.
It would be good to have help with the snow.
Okay. Anyway, so moving on. What else should we review there? We forgot last weekend to talk about Bros.
Okay,
so we saw that last weekend. It's a comedy. It's essentially about a guy who lives in New York. He's 40. He's gay. He's very angry all the time.
An angry person.
And
he has his own.
He's looking for love.
Life.
It's a
he's
sitcom.
Looking for love, but he also doesn't seem to want.
No, it's not a sitcom. It's a romantic comedy.
His life in any way to accommodate that.
Mm-hmm.
And he meets a guy that's not that comfortable with being gay. So that causes a lot of problems.
So, what's your review of it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you like? What didn't you like?
I liked it. It was alright. It could have been more funny. It was supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't funny enough for me.
Yeah, same here.
It wasn't
I'd say
funny enough.
it had some good laughs in it.
It did.
But I want to be laughing throughout.
Yeah,
There's too much of him complaining, and not in a funny way.
Because it wasn't super romantic, like if they're going to go that route, but then it wasn't funny enough either.
It wasn't sappy and sad.
Yeah,
romantic,
it wasn't very sappy because he was so hard.
It was just in between.
Yeah.
Which means, for me, it makes the cardinal mistake of any movie can make of just being okay. Because okay means easily forgettable.
Yeah, I guess so. I will remember it because it's the first movie of its kind. In that way, I won't forget it in that way because I haven't seen those stories before. But
you didn't see Brokeback Mountain?
Not a romantic comedy about two guys. No, this is supposed to be the romantic comedy about two guys. This is what it's supposed to be, right?
Okay.
We haven't had one of those before, not that I know of. Anyway, that's what it's supposed to be. But it wasn't funny enough.
Okay.
Or romantic enough.
So best movie ever, worst movie ever?
Well, my rating is okay.
You're just always okay.
I don't.
I had some fun with it, but I would have to give it a worst movie ever. Because it wasn't that funny. It's too easily forgettable. It did have some good jokes in it, but, there's way better stuff, so I would have liked to see better. Okay, Bros out of the way. What else came out at the end of last weekend? Right after last episode, we watched the season finale of House of the Dragon.
We did last night.
Episode
I stayed
10.
up last week after our recording. I stayed up and we watched it. And, it was, it was over a very short time span, this episode. Some episodes have jumped
Yeah, they jumped different timelines.
This continues right on, and it's only spans probably like 24 hours or 48 hours. Yeah, this episode. And basically, in the end, is basically the war is on.
Yeah.
The last minute is when the war starts.
Yeah, that's when the war starts, yeah. She's going to get some righteous vengeance. Rhaenyra, that look at her eyes.
Don't mess with the mother.
Yeah, don't mess with the moms, okay?
Don't mess with the mother.
And she's going to get righteous vengeance.
Yeah,
I hope she wins, too, because the other side, Alicent and Otto, with her dad, Otto, and her kids are the worst.
They are the worst. Anyway, that guy's going to get one of his...
Aegon
the middle kid is
Aemon.
going to get in... Is he the middle kid or the youngest kid? I don't know. He's going to get in some trouble.
Aemon is the middle kid, and
Aemon
then the daughter is the youngest, who's married to the oldest.
She's the youngest? Okay.
Oh,
she's a dingy.
We don't know what's going on with her.
He has now caused probably the death of his family.
Possibly.
Yes, because what he did. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was very interesting because she's trying to be like moderate. She's trying to do what's best for the kingdom, and then they mess with their kid, and now it's on.
Okay.
That's basically what it's about. So we will see. So the next season is going to be about this war that they're going to have.
Yeah, the Targaryen Civil War. That's what it's supposed to be about.
Probably the end of a lot of dragons, because the dragons are out by the time we see
Daenerys.
Yeah.
You know.
There's no
dragons. A couple
dragons.
centuries later.
It's not even that long now. We're getting forward in time. So yes, the dragons, and they kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
The dragons. Yikes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was cool.
Some
now we have to wait a year for the next.
Maybe. I don't know. It's HBO. They'll take as much time as they want. So overall, did you enjoy this season, this series?
I enjoyed it. It's a smaller
Is that
scope.
best series ever or worst series ever?
Good series.
Okay, I give it best series ever. In fact, some people are saying that this could be up there with the best first season of television for any show.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
I think that is a lot of. There's always recency bias, because whatever has come out most recent, that's the best.
There's a lot of shows that are better.
I think it's really good first season.
It's good.
I can't say it's one of the best, or even in the conversation.
Think of just HBO.
I gotta wait for like an hour. Yeah, because HBO has the best
You think of what's
TV
on
shows.
HBO. Like, you think of Barry. Barry's a better show than this show.
Than House of the Dragon?
Oh, yes. It is a very witty, smart show.
House
of the Dragon.
I mean, Barry's really good. We watched all 3 seasons of it. I think Barry's a
much better show than this. We kind of know these people. We know these characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think Barry was a better show.
Okay. So I really enjoyed House of the Dragon. Can't wait to see Matt Smith back. I hope that Alicent and her kids and her whole family, they get what's coming to them.
They didn't even get drooled on by the dragon.
The worst. They got spit on them, I guess.
They're
the worst.
Spit. I know.
She should have just killed them. And if that side wins because of that,
she was doing what Rhaenyra was doing. She was taking the high ground. She did not kill them. She was trying to have peace, and so was Rhaenyra until that last.
That's not how you seize power. That's not how you win a war.
No,
you don't take the high ground. You do what needs to be done.
She didn't know where all her family was. She had to keep everyone safe. She had to go tell the story. That's what she had to do.
Oh yeah, I'd just like to say that the sea snake showed up in the finale.
Oh, he did come back.
So I was right.
Well,
he was coming back. You thought he was dead.
Well, you think he would have come back sooner, since he is a sailor and he has a lot of ships.
But he's not fighting another war.
Anyway, it was good because now he has connections.
Mm-hmm.
But
they have the largest fleet.
Yes, they know the seas. Anyway, he did come back, and now they're aligned with her. But we kind of knew that anyway, because his wife is already aligned with her, essentially. She wasn't really saying it, but she was there.
She wasn't bowing.
No, because she's mad at her, and she doesn't really bow to anybody, because she technically believes she should be the ruler.
She's the queen that never was.
Yes, she should be the ruler, so she doesn't feel like she should bow to anybody.
Mm-hmm. That's a good character. And the actress is really good in it. They're all really good.
Yeah, no, it was good. And I don't know why she can't tell her, I didn't kill your son. He's out having fun with his boyfriend over in the other lands.
Do you think even if she would have told her that?
Yes, that's been the whole problem the whole time. They think that Rhaenyra killed their son. That's why they're so upset. Because family is everything to them.
Mm-hmm.
But if she, and they know he wasn't a very responsible type guy.
Yeah.
They know his personality. I don't know. She won't say she wants them to fear her, but though maybe she's afraid word would get out and then people wouldn't fear her anymore.
Maybe.
I don't know, but it's weird that she wouldn't.
Yeah. Maybe we'll find out next season. I think it's only 2 seasons long.
Yeah.
And then they'll go to a new show.
Well, he probably won't come back unless he's forced to.
So, I give it a best series ever. If you got HBO, it's on Crave TV because we don't get HBO Max here in Canada or wherever you are. If you got HBO, check out House of the Dragon Season 1. It's amazing. It's not for the kids, though.
No, it's not for kids. No
there's
kids.
Way too much incest and violence and sex and everything, but it's a great show. Definitely a great show.
Yeah. They didn't want to have extra cast members. They cost too much money, so they just had a lot of incest.
Did we watch anything else together besides Black
Andor.
Andor, yeah. Episode 8. What are your thoughts on Andor?
Andor, episode 8. Very depressing. Because very bad things are happening there.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a terrible prison. It's very scary. They went into total detail about everything at the prison where he is.
Mm-hmm.
And his family is dying or getting killed because of his actions, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And not his family, but people that he loves back home are basically all dying or have already had lots of suffering because of him.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this in a spoilery fashion there.
Yeah, so
Andor episode 8.
He's made some stupid decisions. A stupid decision was in the very first episode where he killed some police officers for no real reason.
Well, they were bugging him.
Yeah, it was unnecessary, and that was very reckless. And now he's brought down, basically, on his head, and but he is
didn't even get arrested for that.
He got
arrested for being a tourist.
And he is safe where he is. Meanwhile, all the people that he loves on it's not really his home planet, but the planet where he ended up living, are basically their lives are over.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
Other than his friend who is works in the machine shop, they didn't get him yet. The big guy.
The ironic thing is that the Empire is looking for him, but they already have him. They just don't know who it is.
And it's just a coincidence.
So he's working in this penal colony.
That he gets it's only a weird
and
circumstance.
They're making parts. They should be making gantry parts.
I like to
railings.
know exactly.
Gantry railings is what they need to be making for the Death Star.
They can't afford railings for all those things, obviously.
I don't know what they're making, though. I'd like to know.
There were railings, though, in this episode. So they could afford railings for their jails.
Mm-hmm. But not shoes.
But no shoes. But it's a very interesting concept with the prison. I love these science fiction concepts and stuff where the jail is where the floor is electrified and you have to have special boots that only the guards wear or you'll be electrocuted. So it's a great premise.
Yeah.
But it keeps them in line. But it's also
they
very dangerous.
They pit each other against each other.
With teams.
So just like how the Empire, it's all set up as a wolf pack. Okay?
Yes.
No one's going to help you. You have to fend for yourself, and everyone's just clawing their way up to get more power and more prestige and a better position, right? Well, they do that with the prisoners too.
Yeah.
So you get put into a team, and you have to make parts, and everyone's making the same part. And if your team is the best, you get benefits, and if your team is last, then you get punished.
And these prisoners, most of them haven't done anything. They're just standing somewhere and they're arrested. So they're just basically recruiting slave labor.
Because they need slave labor.
Yes, exactly. He was doing absolutely nothing to get arrested. He should be arrested for things that he's done.
Yeah.
But not for just standing around on a beach. That's how he got arrested. Anyway, it's interesting. It's a sad episode. I mean, in the end, his end is very sad. Rogue One is very sad. This is a sad episode. Yeah. And it seems like the people that he was working with, the rebels, are out to kill him because they figure him as he's basically a person that can identify them, so therefore he's dangerous because he's not technically a rebel.
I think they want to recruit him.
No, they want to kill him. He knows who the leader is, and he's one of the only people that knows him. Even the people on the team didn't know what he looked like. Only the leader. None of them know what he looks like.
Yeah, well, none of the people on that team know about Mon Mothma.
No, but the fact is, he is in a lot of danger. Not only, when they figure out who he is, but also from the rebels themselves. He's a loose end, and they want to get rid of him.
We also saw in this episode, he's on the poster, we saw Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, he's great.
What's the character's name there?
Saw Gerrera.
Saw Gerrera. Do you think we're going to see more Saw Gerrera in the next 4 episodes, which is how much we got left of this season?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Think he'll do something?
Maybe. But in the episode when he was in there, it was more just discussions and such. It wasn't like he's planning something. There's nothing. They weren't planning for something that's going to happen in the next episode. So it would be nice to see him.
He was trying to. Skarsgård was trying to recruit him.
Yeah.
So I think he'll come back and do something.
I'd like to see
They're not going to bring him back for one episode.
I'd like to see a young Jin in there. I was looking for that too. Jin should be there working with him,
They
right?
might, because she was with Saw Gerrera,
yes,
so
when she was
that could be a big cameo, actually.
This is like 10 years or so before
that would be a big cameo.
Well,
but
it
I'm not,
be her,
I'm not banking on it.
She's young in this. She'd be a girl.
Maybe.
She would be. This is like 10 years or so before, or more than that, before he ends up with her in the end.
Yeah, so they wouldn't have the same actress.
No, they'd have a young girl. Anyway, I was kind of looking.
It'd be young Jin Erso, just like they did young Leia in Obi-Wan.
Yes. She wouldn't be probably that young. But yeah, because she's only young in Rogue One. She's only a young person.
Okay, so yes, you think we'll see Saw Gerrera again? I think we will.
I hope we do. I don't know.
I think
don't know
we will.
where it's
I'm not
going.
expecting it, but I hope so.
We're going to see more of Mothma and her, what's going on with her, because she's definitely turning a tide there.
Well, she's one of the main characters.
Yeah, it's going to be more about her, for sure. And he's just in prison.
So are you enjoying this series so far, or would you recommend it?
Yeah, I recommend it. It's very interesting, and it's a real deep dive into this.
Yeah, people are describing Andor as this is Star Wars for adults. Okay, because Book of Boba Fett was more for kids.
It wasn't for anyone. Book of Boba Fett. It was dumb. It was bad.
A lot of people didn't care for it. I don't think it was that great either.
But
if you enjoy it, more power to you. You know, sometimes it works for other people, sometimes it doesn't. Okay,
they had to bring in the Baby Yoda to save the show. It was bad.
That's all planned out. They didn't just suddenly decide to do it as a guest star appearance.
I don't know. It was really lame. Really.
Some people like it, you know. And if you like it, great. It did have some good stuff in it. It had a lot of not so good stuff in it. But we're not talking about Book of Boba Fett.
No,
would you recommend Andor to anyone watching this?
Yes, but they should, of course, watch Rogue One first.
Don't have to. That's like homework. Okay. Anyway, if you have Disney Plus, check out Star Wars Andor. It's a really good show. I give it a best series ever so far. Okay, it's really good. I enjoyed. It's just like Mandalorian is really good, but this is very different style. Book of Boba Fett wasn't so good for me. Obi-Wan, I enjoyed it pretty good. It wasn't amazing. But we're supposed to be getting season 2 of Bad Batch soon. So that's going to be coming up soon.
Bad Batch is a really good show. Yeah. No one's heard of it.
So
it's a good show. It's an animated show.
Okay, we're already at an hour, so you do one review and I'll do a review. You want to do yours first, and then we'll wrap up?
You do yours.
Okay, what should I talk about that I watched this week? So I finished watching season 3 of Batman the Animated Series. I watched my 4K copy of Bullet Train. Okay, I'll do this one really quick. Bullet Train, which came out in August by Sony. It's got Brad Pitt. It's got, who else is in it there? What's his name? Fastos from The Eternals there, your favorite movie. Who else is in it? Sandra Bullock's in it because they're in all of each other's movies.
It's really good.
Karen Fukuhara's in it from The Boys in a brief role. Zazie Beetz makes an appearance in it. Anyway, this movie is so fun and fast-paced. It just moves right along, and it's got like so much jokes in it. And there's just so much wacky stuff going on.
It's wacky. It's fun.
And you never really get lost in it. It's way over the top. Okay? And even Michael Shannon's in it shows up, and it's just...
It's really good.
Man, what a great movie. If you haven't seen Bullet Train, check out Bullet Train. It's definitely in my top 5 movies of this year. Okay?
It's a fun movie.
Definitely. So I'll mention that one really quickly. And last night, I'll just do 2 really quickly. I watched, Netflix had a movie that came out just this weekend, and normally Netflix movies are terrible, but this one was a remake of All Quiet on the Western Front.
Right.
So it's a remake of the 1930 classic, which I still own on DVD.
Is it from an actual 1930 or 1930s, do you know?
It came out in 1930.
Wow.
Okay, so I have a DVD copy of it. That I still have and I'm not going to throw out, which is a classic. And so some people, when you remake a classic, people tend not to like it. But this is getting really good scores, actually. I'm going to look this up.
Good.
I really respect this version. and it's really good. I'm going to look
Okay,
it up
that's
here
good.
on Rotten Tomatoes there. It's so grim and dour.
Yeah, I'm getting war movies.
Like, it's a lot of heavy stuff. Just the first few minutes, it's really heavy. What it does is it goes through and it shows you what happens to, essentially the first 5-10 minutes, it's following a piece of clothing. And what happens to it.
Okay.
So I'll just spoil the first 5 minutes, okay? Anyway, the movie's great. So what happens is, in the first 5 minutes, is you're following this soldier. He's on the front line. It's a German front soldier, because All Quiet on the Western Front, the book, classic book.
First World War, obviously.
Okay, First World War. It's written by a German soldier. So this German soldier, in the trenches, they're going to attack. He's ordered to attack. He has to run across no man's land. It's terrifying. Everyone around him's getting shot. Okay, he makes it to the other trench, and guess what? He's dead. Is he an important character? No, he's no one, right? So then it shows all the bodies just lying around.
Yes.
And then it goes to the train, and like there's the infirmary area, but then it shows the dead bodies where the nurses they're stripping them.
Yeah. Because they need their clothes.
Okay, so they take the clothes and they package up the bloody clothes and they send it on a train, all in big bundles. Then it's laundered. Then they send it to they got the factory full of girls. They're just seamstresses and they're just mending the clothes. Jeez, that would be awesome. And then it's packaged up as if it's new.
Right.
And then it's got the 4 main characters, these 4 17-year-old kids.
Right.
Okay? And they all have to go, because it's 1917.
Yeah.
And it's a different time, and they're so excited, and they don't want to get left behind this time, because the war's been going on for 3 years. So then one of them, the main character, Paul, which is the most German name ever, he gets his uniform. Yes. And he's like, oh, wait a minute, this is for someone else. It's got someone else's name tag on it, right? And the recruiting officer, he's like, oh, must have been, they probably got it and it was the wrong size for him. So he rips off the tag. So he got a different one. He hands it to him. Says it happens all the time. And you get that they're just yelling to him. They're just lying to them.
Yeah, but after 3 years, you think they would have known then that it wasn't that heroic thought of war, and by the 1970s.
But everyone who's telling them about it is lying to them.
There's propaganda. This is German soldiers.
Yeah.
I know.
So anyway, the first 5 minutes is quite dour. And it's a, but I really respect this version. It's really good. In fact, on Rotten Tomatoes, it's certified fresh at 94% by critics and has an audience score of 92%.
Oh, that's good.
So if you have Netflix, I definitely recommend checking out the remake, All Quiet on the Western Front. And if you're a big fan of movies, and that's definitely one of the classic movies you have to see, is the original from 1930 film, All Quiet on the Western Front. I think it won Best Picture. Came out during the interwar period. It's one of the classic films about the futility of warfare. And yet then they still have a Second World War. Anyway, the message in it is the same as it's always been. It's the futility of war, which is just as prevalent and meaningful today as it has been at any time.
Exactly.
So this is a great film. It's like 2 hours, 27, 2.5 hours. I would make the time, check it out. It's heavy, it's a lot, but it's really good. And it's not like big on gore or anything like that. So, but it's a really good story. Based on the classic. So, that's my reviews for this week. What do you want to review for us?
I don't know. I watched more of The Resort.
Oh, yes, you were talking about The Resort last week.
And this time now it's about a book. And they're all traveling to the author's house. And the author is Louis Guzman, who is really funny. He's a funny character. He's always funny in everything that he's in. Mm-hmm. And, they go to see him because they're trying to find this place where maybe that's where the kids end up, this place where it's out of time. It's a place out of time. So
where the painting is?
No. Basically, the boy and his friend, they fall in love. They're missing still. Mm-hmm. So they go to see the author. It shows them going to find the author. And it also shows the couple from this time going to find the author of this book. And they're all looking for this place called Bahahe or something. And So now they have to find out how to get there. So maybe that's where the kids are. Maybe the kids aren't dead. Maybe they're actually stuck in time. So it goes on like that. So the next episode, they're going to be trying to find this place, this magical place. And the girl that's missing, she thinks her mother is there.
In this magical land.
Or spot, or place without time. Because the whole idea is that she has a book with her, and her mother gave her the book. Her mother has died, and the mother said, you need to find this place. So they go to find the author. And now the couple that found the phone is following in their footsteps. So it keeps on going.
Is it getting better or is it getting worse?
Well, I think it's explaining it all. We'll see. It's interesting, but I think just finding themselves in that painting, if it just ended there, because now it's getting into all this explanation and where are they. But the interesting thing is, will they find the kids that are missing? Will they find them?
Okay.
And
in this magical realm.
Where
are they hanging out in Asgard?
No, they're in the Caribbean or something, in this tropical place. They're
on
holiday.
But where's the magical realm?
It's at some park. This author lives there on this island, and they're in some place by some park. So they're headed there.
Is it they're heading to the Bermuda Triangle? Is that the magical place?
No, they haven't. No, it's just a place in the forest somewhere. So it shows the kids
Are they gonna go find little elves or something?
7 going to the place, and it shows this couple now. They're doing the exact same thing. They're basically following the trail of these kids.
Who went missing?
Yeah, who went missing. And now this is today.
That doesn't seem very smart, because then they'll just go missing.
They're on it. They don't think so. They're on holiday. It's a fun thing for them. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's other complicated, funny things to it, because they've got someone with them.
Okay.
And him and the author don't get along. So there's lots of comedy in it. It's really funny, too. It's interesting and it's funny.
And this is on Showcase?
Yes, I think it's a Peacock show originally. It's really fun. Yeah, so there's that show I watched.
Would you recommend it?
Oh, yes, I recommend it. It's really interesting and it's funny.
It's a comedy mystery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mystery adventure comedy.
Sure.
We'll call it that. And there's some, I don't know, we call it romance. There's romance in it. There's lots in it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I recommend that. And I recommend, I forgot, I was watching Avenue 5, the second season.
One more quick one, yeah.
That's a comedy. Has come out. I really like it. We're getting into the second season now. It was 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was already having a bad day, because unfortunately I looked at my emails too early. And I was really stressed out. Don't look at your emails before that time. Anyway, and I put that on, and I just laughed so hard. It was really, really funny. I wish you would watch it with me. I don't know. It was so funny.
I might give that show another chance sometime and watch the first season.
It was a real gift to laugh that hard. Of all their problems, it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Is that second season?
This is the second
first
season.
Episode?
No, it's not the first episode. This is second or third episode.
Is that all that's out? They do it once a week?
Yeah, once a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So would you recommend that to
Yes.
anyone who is kind enough to watch our videos?
I recommend Avenue 5. It's on HBO. You can find it on Crave, and it's hilarious.
Crave if you're in Canada, HBO Max if you're in the US.
Hugh Laurie is in it. He is the captain, sort of. And it's just really funny. It's also the humor in it. It can be really gross too, but it's really funny, and it just makes you laugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking that I might go back and check out that show. I've probably seen that first episode 2 or 3 times now.
I'll watch it again with you.
No, I'll watch it again sometime when I have time to go through it there. But oh well, that's okay. So you'd recommend that to anyone?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a big.
Thumbs up.
You got to come out sometimes with bad things. It's I don't recommend this. Okay. Sometimes.
I'll do that next week.
Oh, I'll mention I saw on preview night this week, I saw Pray for the Devil. I'm not, full disclosure, I'm not a horror movie, I'm not a thriller guy, but there are good ones. It wasn't good.
It sounds sacrilegious.
It's not good. It's about exorcism and this woman who's a nun, who wants to be who wants to be able to do exorcists, but they only teach that to the men. Catholic Church at work.
Priests. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's that much need for it these days.
I don't know. The movie starts off, it's like, first it gives you like some dialogue you have to read, some backstory,
Right.
so homework, great. And then it's talking about how the Catholic Church has set up these schools to teach exorcism around the world.
Nowadays, you know what all you need to do? Just look up on your phone. Look it up on YouTube. I would tell you how to do one. You can look it up right now. I'm sure it would tell you.
But this is for priests, right?
It doesn't matter. I think she just
So
needs
apparently
a
there's
phone.
this school in Boston that teaches exorcism, but you got to be Catholic to get in. And in this world, the Catholic Church is a force for good, which, okay, already you've lost me because I'm not Catholic and I don't support the Catholic Church.
Better than demons.
But if that's your thing, I'm not ragging
They're
on you.
better than demons.
I'm not trying to pick a fight with Catholics.
In the 70s, it was very popular.
So
they
this
needed
movie,
everyone to know how to do an exorcism.
This
in the
movie
70s.
just goes on for an hour and a half. It's kind of meandering and dumb, and then she goes for a swim, and then everything's good, and I'm like, oh, man. Well, it was a fun time at the movies. In terms of scary movies, this is not a good one. If you want to watch some great scary movies, I would recommend, say, like, The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
Oh, yeah.
I would recommend, I always liked Event Horizon, which came out in the late 90s. That one was creepy.
It does seem to be creepy.
I would recommend Get Out, which came out a few years ago. Jordan Peele's Get Out. That one was amazing. I'm going to get a copy of that, a 4K copy of that. I could definitely watch that again. But this Pray for the Devil, skip it.
Yeah,
it's
skip it.
Worst movie ever.
Okay.
That's what I give it. Okay, so let's wrap up the show then.
Okay.
So if you liked this episode, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. That will help us out a lot. I'll be posting updates on my Twitter feed at St. John's Critic. I still got to set up a Twitter account for... Oh, that's my phone going off. I apologize. I got to set up a Twitter account for the show. I did set up an email, which I will include in the description below. So if you want to reach out to us, it is CanadaMovieTVHosers@gmail.com. I'll put that in the description. So if you got a comment, question, concern, say something you liked about us or a critique of our show, something you didn't like, we can do better, just send that in to us. And hopefully by next week I'll have that Twitter account and a hashtag set up for us. So like and subscribe, contact information, and I think that's everything. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.